I just saw a post that showed Houston's collegiate basketball team running a mile, and the post said that Houston's average time for the mile was 5 minutes and 19 seconds, which is pretty awesome. And I'm not necessarily into arbitrary standards for humans. You know, that's a high level collegiate basketball team. They're going to have a high level of performance. And for there's literally guys who are like, I think almost 7 feet, where running a mile in like 5 minutes. I think there was like 5 minutes and 45 seconds at like 270 pounds. It's pretty freaking awesome. I think what it does show is just the importance of having standards. I was actually going to make a post for Instagram about this in the near future, and it's essentially like creating arbitrary standards for fitness. I think is to some degree silly because there is just so much variability in individualization of training, and people have different goals, and that's okay. But I think for adults, it's really good to kind of go back and say, let's create some standards. You know, for me, running a mile in less than 6 minutes and 30 seconds is something that I'm focusing on because that's like my best time right now. I haven't done that. You know, in high school, I ran a fast mile. I haven't done that in a while, and it feels good at 36 years old to be pursuing something like that. You know, I think creating like arbitrary strength standards is not super useful, but I think figuring out what is important to you and creating some standards around those things, essentially setting goals and saying, hey, I'm going to work on these things and try to hit these standards. Like, I think that's what a lot of training is really about, right? So when it comes to like me, I mean, there's a few things that I'm just really working on. That's driving up my bench press. So I want to hit 225 for 10 reps. That's like my standard was getting to the initial one was like pretty easy body weight bench press. Then, you know, 225 and then 225 for 10 is like my next goal. Probably at like 6 or 7 for that. Nothing super impressive, but for me, it's a challenge, right? I want to be able to squat 405 again for 5 to 10 reps. It's been a while since I've been doing that. Kind of hurt my groin, which kind of held me back from that, but we're getting back to there. Deadlifting, again, I think something along that like 4 to 5 plate deadlift, creating a standard there and then trying to just up that standard is probably a really good direction for me to move in. Running a mile pretty quickly is something I want to work on. Just maintaining the ability to sprint is a standard that I want to set. 10 plus chin-ups at any time, you know, or pull-ups at any time. Would love to get back to doing 20. I think at my best is 20. I'd love to get back to doing that. And then just some other standards that I like want to set for myself, right? So that's what I would encourage you to do is like think about kind of a few of the main lift standards that like would make you happy and then literally tier it. So level 1 is maybe like a body weight, you know, like a body weight bench press, right? Or squatting your body weight or something like that, right? And then it's, you know, another higher level for that for 1 rep. And then it maybe is like, hey, I'm going to do that higher level for multiple reps. Just doing that type of thing over and over again is really what training is about. It makes it more individualized. It makes it more personal, makes it more fun, and it just gives you stuff to shoot for. And a lot of programs will take you there. Having that intention is probably the biggest thing and the most important thing. So think of it that way. Set some standards. The Houston team running those miles is freaking awesome. That's really cool to see. But just let it inspire you. Don't let it become this thing like everybody has to do. Just think, what's the principle of that? And that's that they have a high standard of fitness on their team. You know, is it the best thing for basketball? Who knows? They're really good. So, you know, something's working. That's the way to look at it. That's all I got for today. Peace.